welcome the Royal Navy. And on salute the 69th, supporting them to tell you all about that, please welcome Lieutenant Commander, I should say, because he's in the Navy, Mike West.
George, thank you very much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, and welcome to the Royal Navy helicopter display team, the Black Cats. The team hasn't been here for 3 years, unfortunately. Last displayed in 2016 with a pair of wildcats, but it's so good to be back here. There's been a bit of a delay in coming back to Southport, owing to transition from one aircraft type to another. So the Wildcat you see in front of you now is a new aircraft. It's under 5 years been in service with the Royal Navy. But this is the aircraft that took over from the Lynxx helicopter, which retired some 2.5 years ago. And of course the squadrons, the force, have had to train the aircraft, aircrew and engineers from one aircraft type to another. So this is a Wildcat maritime attack aircraft. This normally operates from the stern, from the back of frigates and destroyers. And if you just look at think about the worldwide ops it's been on this year, the Wildcat has been involved in operations in the Far East, in the Middle East, in the Mediterranean, in the Baltic, in the Atlantic, and of course the Caribbean. For many of you will have seen all the press recently about Hurricane Dorian and the effect and the devastation it's had on the Bahamas. The Royal Fleet Auxiliary Ship Mounts Bay is in the Bahamas as we speak, providing that key urgent support which they started just after Dorian had finished. And that is not only evacuating those who are injured from the islands into hospitals, but also providing water and food and some key medical supplies, especially to the more remote areas of the islands. So the crew today, in the right-hand seat, is a pilot, Lieutenant Chris Rebick, who's a qualified helicopter instructor, and in the left-hand seat is what we call the observer. That's Lieutenant Commander Gav Renault, who's a senior observer of 825 Squadron. And his job as the observer is a tactician-type job, not only to navigate the aircraft, but also to operate the weapons and sensors. And Chris, as you can see now, is demonstrating, which I think is probably the only aircraft today to be displaying going backwards at some 60 miles an hour before turning over the shoulder and proceeding back out again. And of course, like anything, the crew is supported by the engineers, and 825 Naval Air Squadron at Yeovilton trains both aircrew and engineers in how to operate and maintain this aircraft. And from there, the aircrew and engineers move across to the frontline squadron, which is 815 Naval Air Squadron. Chris is now just doing a series of slow turns, and during the display he'll also be demonstrating wing overs and nose overs, which are taught to all the pilots and are used in their normal business if they need to change direction and alter their profile quite suddenly. And as he comes now in towards the crowd, into a slow hobby, you can look at some of the detail on the aircraft. Under the nose is the radar, a very essential sensor, and on the top is the electro-optical device. And in combination with the radar, it means you can search, you can track, and then you can identify other shipping and other items of interest. And as he dips as a bow to you, you can see the rotor head there, which he showed you, which is where the blades are attached. And that rotor head is quite important. It enables the blades on this aircraft, when it's down on the deck and stopped, the blades fold backwards, and that enables the helicopter to be stowed in the hangar of the ship it's operating from. That's very key, because obviously with the rotor spread, it just wouldn't fit in the hangar. So the aircraft itself has a speed of up to about 160 knots or 180-ish miles an hour. It weighs about 6 tons, which is 6,250 kg. I talked about the operations going on in the Bahamas at the moment. The aircraft has the ability to also underslung load. So it has a net that's attached to the bottom of the aircraft, and within that net they can move about 500 kg of stores and equipment around, be it to other ships at sea or obviously in support of Hurricane Dorian and other events like that. The actual roles the aircraft can do is maritime attack, maritime counter-terrorism, anti-surface warfare, anti-submarine warfare, reconnaissance and search, and as I discussed, moving stores and personnel around. Now, underneath the aircraft, which might be difficult to see, is also a thing called a deck lock. And so when the aircraft goes and lands onto a ship, it has the ability to engage this deck lock into a grid on the flight deck of the ship, and that holds the aircraft in place. And that's especially important when there's a sea state going on. The weapons this aircraft carries torpedoes and depth charges, and also they're in the process at the moment of just developing the final stages of the missile systems that the aircraft will be operating shortly. And those weapons will be the sea venom and also the martlet weapons, which will be against small vessels, fast attack craft, and things like that. Coming towards the end of the display, he's going to be doing a final series of wing overs. And one thing I also discussed about it when they're in the Caribbean, it's not just disaster relief, but they're also involved in counter-narcotics. And on the port side of the aircraft and the starboard side, they often have machine guns. It's a half-inch machine gun that can be used, and that's the one that can help out when they're sorting out counter-narcotic fast attack craft moving drugs around. And that's the example of what the machine gun can do. And that completes the display for the Wildcat today. Just to say, the Black Cat trailer is in the military